What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. I've been pretty critical of Black Ops 6 over the last few days, and that has led to many people believing that I hate this game, that I hate Black Ops 6. And I'm getting really sick and tired of that being the default response of somebody who likes the game. Just because someone criticizes something you like does not mean they hate it. It means they want it to get better. Whenever we bring up criticism around Call of Duty, the community that loves the games just calls us a bunch of haters. And that's not what any of us are. Now, maybe some, yes, they just hate the game for the sake of hating the game. But for me, I actually want to see the game get better. The reason why I point out its flaws is because I'd like those flaws to be resolved, to be fixed. So that when I return to the game in a couple weeks, in a couple months, it gets better over time. Instead of what happened with MW3, where yes, there was a ton of new content in the game, but the overall connection got significantly worse and people just accepted it. The fact that cheaters were running rampant everywhere, people just accepted it. Because hey, if you say anything negative, you're a hater. And I know that this is oversimplifying the problem, but it's the same thing that's happening on the other side. And this is the real problem within the Call of Duty community. It's the fact that nobody in this community can look at this game objectively and say it needs to improve. You need to set aside whether or not you like the game and ask yourself, could it be better? Should it be better? Because a lot of people are just accepting the fact that this game is fundamentally flawed at launch and they'll fix it later, instead of demanding that the product is at a certain state when it releases. I do not think that the current state of Black Ops 6 is acceptable for a release of this magnitude in 2024. The fact that these games released in a more polished state and feeling of a more complete state back in 2012, 2013, tells you everything you need to know about the current direction of this franchise. And when you want to label everybody who brings that point up as a hater, you're doing nothing but serving Activision so that they can continue to degrade the experience that you are served at launch and throughout the course of the year. I want to see Call of Duty get better. I love this franchise. I want it to be as good as it used to be. And people always are curious what made those games better than the games today. And it's just the simple care of the developers. There was a clear love and passion for bringing the community the best they could do. This is not the best they could do. If it was, I'd be a little bit less critical. But because I know they can do more, they can resolve the packet burst problem, they can make the servers better, but they choose not to. They choose not to invest in that. The anti-cheat could be miles ahead from where it currently is. But no, they'd rather be complacent with the current situation because so many people allow them to be. This isn't even necessarily rewarding them with your money, it's rewarding them with your opinion and your complacency and your unwillingness to be critical of the game. Being upset that the game isn't at a good state doesn't mean that you have to hate the game. I don't hate Black Ops 6. I still believe it is a pleasant surprise in some aspects. The campaign was utterly fantastic. I know people don't like the zombies, but I'm having fun with it. And multiplayer should be better than it is, but the maps suck, the connection sucks, and the hit detection is god-awful. And then, of course, you have skill-based matchmaking, quietly manipulating every aspect of your game to try to steer you to having fun, when in reality it has the adverse effect for so many people in this community. But it doesn't mean that there isn't fun gameplay moments even through all of that garbage. There's times where Black Ops 6 performs really well, when it doesn't feel like the algorithm is against you, when the hit detection is working and it's crisp and the game feels smooth. And these are the moments where I get the most frustrated, because I see what the game can deliver when it's at its best, when it's functioning as it should. And it just makes me question, why isn't it like this more often? For a billion-dollar franchise like this, this should be the standard. It should be consistency above everything else. Instead, what they'd rather do is degrade the experience and be lazy. Because that's what Black Ops 6 feels like sometimes. It feels lazy. How is it that we have text that is lost upon guns still to this point? Because they're lazy. They don't want to fix the problem. They know it's there. They know it's an easy fix. They're lazy. Why is it that the levels don't always show as being accurate? Why is it a bunch of level 1s? Because they're too lazy to fix it. And I know this problem isn't a Black Ops 6 only problem. It's been persistent within the last few Call of Duties. But again, it leads to that feeling of a lack of polish, that feeling of the game being unfinished. And it degrades the overall experience as a result. And I don't want this video to be misconstrued as me hating on this community or me hating on your good time. I'm glad you're having fun with Black Ops 6. I wish I could too. The problem is all of the negatives have overshadowed the positives. It wasn't like that at launch. The connection felt better at launch. The maps, even though they were bad, didn't feel as bad as they do now. And I think it all lends itself to the game just not being in a state that I think is acceptable for this community. I'd like the game to be better. I think you should demand the game to be better. And heck, Nuketown exposed how much better this game could be if the maps were better. But a lot of you just want to be complacent in mediocrity, in getting a below average product, and I don't know why. The amount of excuses I see this community try to give for Activision having a tough time creating this game. They had 4 years and 4,000 developers to work on this, and yet they still cannot deliver you a complete experience, an experience that lives up to games like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. Heck, even Black Ops 1, a game released 14 years ago, felt like it had more depth, and it was released in a more polished state. Sure, things need to be resolved. Bugs happen. I get that. But the community used to come together and say, let's fix these bugs now, instead of glossing over them and just hoping and praying that they fix the bugs in one of the new updates that the game releases. That's what we do now. We all hope the game gets better, instead of us expecting it to get better. Oh, it's fine in its current state, and if it gets better, that's fine. We should demand that it gets better. We should demand that we see improvements from day one all the way to the end of its life cycle. And you can argue that MW3 got better from the first day of its life cycle to the end. It certainly got a lot more content. I'm not going to disagree with that. But the overall experience felt far worse because Activision allowed cheaters to infiltrate the game at record numbers, and they completely degraded the overall server performance so that the game just felt like a jittery mess. It's that simple. We should be expecting more. We should be demanding more. And it doesn't mean that you hate the game. It means that you actually want this game to flourish, for it to succeed. And unfortunately, there are too many people within this community that are completely okay with the current state of the game, that are fine if the game lives like this for the next 12 months. Oh gosh darn, these hard developers just, they have such a tough time earning their 6-figure paychecks and not having any expectations to do better. Clearly, Activision doesn't want to hold these people to a higher standard, so it's up to the community to do so. And that's the expectation that I have of this community, is to finally hold this conglomerate accountable for the drivel that they try to pass off as Call of Duty today. This game could be so much better. It should be so much better. And I would just love to see more people understand that, realize that, and expect that. But that's it for my video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you like being critical of Call of Duty, or do you prefer to just gloss over the problems and have fun despite them? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.